Let's try and see our old Wi-Fi router. It's Cisco Linksys E2000. And let's try to see the switch ports. These are actually switch ports where we plug our computer, our laptop to share the internet. This is where we plug in our internet cable, where the internet comes in and it's going to be shared with our home network. This internet port that we have here, on other routers, this is labeled as WAN. Now, if we're going to make use of this one as a switch or an access point, we're just going to ignore this one. Don't plug anything here because this is what makes this Wi-Fi router a router. Now, if we ignore this one, we're just going to do a few modifications with this Wi-Fi router, and this will work as a access point, a switch, a repeater. Which of those we want it to be, it will work. This would be my newer router. It's actually Cisco Linksys E1200, and it has the same port orientation with the other one. We're just going to plug our internet here, and then we're going to share the internet with our other home network devices, but we're going to connect another cable to our other router here. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to plug the internet here. This will be my one port. We're not going to do anything with that. What we're worried right now is how we're going to configure this one. But I just want to show you how we can set this one up. So since this is my main router, I'm just going to plug one cable, one of these local area network ports, or what I call a switch port, plug it here, and then get my older router. This is my older router. I'm just going to plug any of these one to four ports. Just ignore this internet port or one port of your router, whatever router you're using. So I'm just going to plug it here, and we're going to power this one up. Just so I showed you how you can connect this one. Since this is an old router, we need to do a hard reset here so that this old router will go to a factory default setting and we can start configuring this one. Whatever your router is, you just try to find that mark where it says reset. Now you have a little hole there. You just need something that you can pin. You can push into, like what I have here. I can push it there. Now just observe the link lights that you have there. And at the same time, at the back of this one, I'm just going to press that reset button here. Once I press that one, you observe the light, it will change. You can see a blue light there and a power light there. You can see it's starting to blink fast enough, and then you see those lights come up, and then once that's gone, you can release this one. And it will reboot itself, and then this one will already be on its factory default setting. So we can configure it already. Now that we did a reset here, we're just going to plug another cable into our router, go into our laptop so that we can access this router and configure those configurations we did. So this is my cable, and I'm going to plug it to my laptop here. So we can start.
We need to access our wireless router with the IP address of this device. So what we're going to do is go to CMD and then type in ipconfig. Let's locate the Ethernet adapter and look for the default gateway we have. You see here, Ethernet adapter, Ethernet. This is the adapter where the wireless router is connected to, and we can see the default gateway 192.168.1.1. Now, we're going to open our browser. Just go ahead and open up your browser and type in this 192.168.1.1. Press enter. You will be prompted with a login. Most routers go with username as admin and password as admin, but if it does not work for you, Google is your friend. Just go ahead and Google the model number of that wireless router and ask for the default username and password. So for us, let's type in admin and admin. Login. And we're inside this wireless router. There you go. Since we are here on the setup page, let's just go ahead and scroll down here, and you can see the DHCP server. We need to disable this DHCP server because DHCP servers are enabled on wireless routers. So if we have two DHCP server running on the same network, we'll be having problems with our network because we have our main router. Now this is our old router, so we need to disable this one so that it would stop giving IP address. So our new router will be the one to give those IP addresses to our devices. If you have already set that one, we can save this one first. Let's do it one setting at a time so that we are not going to be confused. Now the next thing we're going to do is we need to change the IP address of this wireless router, because by default most routers use 192.168.1.1 as their default IP address where we can access this one and configure. So if we have two devices that have same IP address on same network, we will be having problems also. That's why we need to change the IP address of this one from, we can start from .2, we can change this one from .2 up to 254. So I'm going to choose the last IP address to put here. That would be 254, since I know no one's using this one. And then I'm going to save this one again. Now your configuration changes has been set. You will be returned to the previous page after several seconds. Now this will refresh in a few seconds and it will give us the IP address we changed to earlier, that is 254 on our browser. So we're going to wait for a few seconds. Now it has already refreshed and it has changed into our 192.168.254 address, and we can log in with our login again and continue to configure this wireless router. Admin. Okay, we're logged in again. So you can see it's changed. So this will not be conflicting to our main router. Now that that's changed, like what I've said, our wireless router can already be used as a switch. We can use those extra switch ports to plug in other devices we want to. Now that we're done with the configuration of the IP address and turning that DHCP server off, go ahead to the wireless configuration and we can start configuring this one as our access point already. Click on wireless. We can go for manual, and if you want this one to be a repeater, you can use the same SSID that your new router is using so that your users do not need to re-authenticate to this access point we have configured. In our case, let's just put here Torogi Pro. Here on the channel, just leave it as auto so that it will automatically change the channel if it detected interference with other devices. But if you are sure with which channel you are using, you can change this one from 1 to 13. Now the SSID enabled. So that's it. We can save this one. Now that we're done with the wireless setup, it's time we configure the wireless security. This is set to disabled. If we want to authenticate our users, we can select, let's just go for WPA2 personal and then type in our password. Let's just go for Torogi Pro as our password for the sake of this tutorial. Save this one. This wireless router is now an access point. It's not a router. It's not being used as a router already. It's an access point, a switch. It can be a repeater, an extender, depending on how you want it to be. Just make sure to do the configuration on your router. These Wi-Fi routers does not have the same interface when you configure them. Just make sure to remember to change the setting that we have changed. The IP address of that wireless router, the DHCP server should be turned off. You can go ahead and you can configure the wireless settings and everything should work fine. Now if you think I have missed something on this tutorial, just drop a comment below. If it's your first time in my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe. Once again, this is Torogi Pro, and until next time, goodbye.